Hello, wonderful people, and happy day to you. Yes, I know this is a different start to a day in the life video for me, but there's an explanation for this. I was not planning to film today, and yet here I am. Okay, so yeah, I was planning to do something totally different today, but there are just a few things happening today that I thought were worth filming and sharing with you guys. So that is what is happening. So it is Friday morning, so this is a Shabbat prep video. My husband is home cooking and I am out doing a few short errands while he is there with the kids. So first up, I had to deliver some tablecloths to a friend of mine. Since we got that new tabletop on our dining room table, we really had no use for these tablecloths anymore that fit on the older, smaller tables. So I was very happy to be able to pass these along to a friend who would be able to use and enjoy them. And now I am off to deliver some supplies for the Girl Scout meeting that I am leading on Sunday. I lead a Girl Scout troop of juniors. I've led them since they were daisies. And this year, thanks to the pandemic, we are all over Zoom. So I drop off supplies before our meetings. And then we need to stop by the Mikveh to total a few more dishes. Yes, we do this fairly often. But yeah, I'm totally unprepared for filming today. I don't have on any makeup. My face is still a bit red from mowing the lawn this morning, but I have that wonderful productive feeling that you have after you've worked out or done some kind of physical labor and you just feel like this kind of tired but so accomplished feeling. Yeah, I've got that right now and it's awesome. Okay, let's go get all the stuff done. So the Kaylee Mikveh, the Mikveh for toveling dishes, is very close to the house that I had to deliver the Girl Scout supplies for. So it totally made sense to do all of this at once. So I had my little box with a few things in there to get done. I had bought myself a new cup yesterday for camping. And then I had some measuring cups and measuring spoons that I had got my daughter. So I needed to take care of those as well. And I realized I did not introduce myself at the beginning of this video, so apologies. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. My name is Hannah. This is Jar of Fireflies, and here you will find videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. If that sounds like something that would be interesting to you, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Okay, back to Mikveh stuff. Yeah, it seems like lately we're doing this a lot. We've been down here because we bought some new stuff for Passover, and then I had bought that new cup for camping and just realized that I had totally forgotten about my daughter's new measuring cups and measuring spoons. But yeah, it was just nice to go ahead and get all of this done today. It feels like it goes in spurts. Sometimes there's a bunch of stuff to get toveled, and then we'll go for months and months and months and not have to come here at all. But either way, I'm so glad that we have these available in our community. Okay, now that all of that is done, let's head home and get on with our day. I got home to find my husband hard at work cooking for Shabbat. I am so grateful that he does this. It's such a load off of me to not have to worry about the cooking for Shabbat most of the time. So here's the fish. It's cooking there on the stove, our Moroccan fish. And then he was also working on some oxtail, which was going to be what we were going to eat for lunch on Shabbat. So lunch on Saturday. So that is the oxtail right there. So there's some vegetables, some chickpeas, and the oxtail there, which he chopped up. It's delicious. If you've never had oxtail before, it is so incredibly amazing. I highly recommend it. He also cooked some chicken for me just in a pan, which I ate for lunch. And then I will save a little bit of that also for me to eat tomorrow. I don't like to eat a lot of red meat, so I'll probably have just a taste of this oxtail because it's so good. And then I'll eat chicken as kind of the main part of my meal. In addition to those main dishes, we'll also be eating a variety of salads, which he has already prepared, along with the bread, which I baked earlier this week. There is the fish. He's just kind of giving it a little stir and pouring the sauce over so everything stays nice and tender. Yeah, looking forward to eating that later on this evening. And for you Bella fans out there, I found her there in one of her favorite spots in the laundry room, just looking out the window at the birds and the squirrels and making sure that nobody dares to walk by our house. Okay, so I feel like things are a little bit more settled here in the house. My husband has gone out to work now that he has finished cooking, so all the food is ready for Shabbat except the oxtail, which is still simmering on the stove, but it's kind of on autopilot. I don't need to worry about that. We still need to make dessert, and I am making a carrot cake. I have not made a carrot cake in a long time. I might have made one other carrot cake. I am not totally certain on that, which is why I'm not saying I've never done it. I think I might have done it once, but it's obviously been a really, really, really long time, and I have never done a gluten-free carrot cake. So this is going to be a little bit of an adventure for me, but I'm excited to take you guys along, and there is a reason that I am making a carrot cake, which is one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today. But first, let me just apologize for all the background noise. I got like the washer going and the dryer going and the dishwasher going, and I feel a little bit like I'm running the Starship Enterprise, which is kind of fun, except that it is just a tad noisy in here. But anyways, what I wanted to share with you guys is that this week is my birthday week. And we're kind of a birthday week kind of a family. Now, so on my actual birthday, I did not feel like baking a cake. We were hanging out with friends, we were hanging out with family, and I just didn't really feel like spending a bunch of time baking my own cake. And since a kosher gluten-free cake is just not something you can get around here unless you're getting it from my kitchen, it was gonna fall on me. So now that Shabbat is almost here, I decided to go ahead and make this cake for dessert tonight. So I'm gonna be making a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. In case you were wondering, I really didn't do a whole lot to celebrate my birthday, even though it was a big one. I turned 40 this week. This is 40, y'all. I'm so excited. Like I said, I did go hang out with friends, which was fantastic. I got a few lovely letters from a couple of the gals in my nature group, and my husband got me some amazing camping gear, which I am beyond excited about. We've got this fantastic backpacking tent now, and I've got a backpacking chair, so we're all stoked for an upcoming trip that we have. A different day this week, my mom and I went to the Arboretum together. We took the kids. She brought me some awesome plants that I can put out in the front yard, so it's been a great birthday week. Anyhow, now that I've been rambling on and on and on, let's go ahead and bake that cake, which will be for Shabbat dessert tonight. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the whole recipe in this video the way that I normally do when I'm cooking, but I will link to the recipe that I used below. It is from Bob's Red Mill, and I have loved every gluten-free baking recipe that I have tried from them. So I was feeling pretty confident with this cake, even though when I was looking at the instructions, I was like, I don't know if this is really going to work. This just seems a little bit weird, but I just trusted the process and it turned out okay. I did make a couple of changes, so I will tell you what I did differently. It called for shredded coconut. I absolutely hate coconut. I cannot stand it. I hate the texture. I hate the flavor. I hate the smell. There is nothing on this earth that I like about coconut. So I subbed out the coconut with shredded carrots. So hopefully that will turn out okay. I made one other change to the recipe. It called for an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple in the ingredients. I did not have any crushed pineapple, but I did have pineapple, of course, in a 20-ounce can. So I just weighed out 8 ounces of these pineapple bits, and then I crushed them with a small blender. So they were close to pureed. I don't know, but it seemed like it worked out okay. I think it was the same basic concept, so hopefully it'll be fine. I don't know. I feel like you can't really go too wrong with carrot cake. I feel like there's a lot of area to take liberty in a carrot cake. And I for my birthday, I just really did not want to have like a box cake mix. I wanted it to be, you know, a real cake, a grown-up cake, a made from scratch cake. So I'm not super experienced doing this with gluten-free cakes, but I have tried the Bob Red Mill's carrot muffin recipe before and really liked that. So I figured their carrot cake recipe couldn't be too far off as far as the awesome factor. So that's what we did. Okay, so once I got the batter all made, I poured it into those 3 different cake pans, which is what the recipe called for, 3 cake pans, which I was really happy about because I wanted a 3-layer cake and got it in the oven. Now, this point here in the video, it's done cooking. The whole house smelled amazing. Every time my kids would come running out of their rooms into the kitchen or any other part of the house or in from the backyard, the whole time this cake was baking, they were all like, Ema, what is that amazing smell? And I'm like, that's my cake. You're going to eat it tonight. So I was feeling pretty confident that it was going to turn out well, like even more so than just the fact that I was trusting the recipe before I tried it. But it is always just a little bit nerve-wracking to try a new recipe on Shabbat because there's not really a way to fix that if it doesn't turn out. You know, it's not like I can just whip up another cake tomorrow because this one didn't turn out because I cannot bake on Shabbat. So yeah, but like I said, I'm seeing, especially at this point here in the video, I can tell that this cake has turned out really well and I'm excited about it. It smells delicious. It looks perfect. everything about it turned out great. So I'm confident that this will be really good later on tonight. And I suppose if I did totally mess it up, I did make some puppy chow yesterday that I put in a Ziploc, and that's in the pantry, so that could technically be a backup plan, but it's definitely not a cake. Well, gosh darn it, if that doesn't smell and look amazing. I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical when I looked at the recipe, but like, I was just like, how is this even gonna come together? But I'm looking at it now and the cake looks amazing. It smells amazing. My whole house smells like delicious carrot cake right now. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So I'm gonna let that cool, and then in a little bit, I will work on making an icing for that. And yeah, I don't know, right now maybe I'm gonna go put away some laundry and stuff before I start working on the table. And there's one more thing that I wanna show you and talk to you about, a cool tradition that we do the week after Passover. Okay, I'm gonna get to it. Just real quick, here is the cake all finished close up. I wanted to show you how big these 3 layers were. I was pretty impressed with how much cake batter this recipe ended up making. While the cake was cooling, my husband worked on some of the salads, doing some deep frying of jalapenos and also some garlic and things like that. And then after the cake cooled, I threw the icing together. I didn't exactly follow a recipe. It was basically some butter, cream cheese, powdered sugar, and a little bit of vanilla. I couldn't tell you measurements, especially on the powdered sugar, because I basically added every drop of powdered sugar that I had in my house, trying to make this icing as thick as possible. The recipe that I did find online said that it was like a pipeable icing, that it was going to be really, really thick. I don't know if maybe my kitchen was just too warm or what the deal was, but I found the icing to not be thick enough to pipe. I moved the leftover icing after I finished icing the cake out to a cooler room in the house, and I put the cake in my craft room, so hopefully everything will be okay because the cake was kind of falling all over the place, as generally happens when I make a cake that is 3 layers. But still, I wanted 3 layers, and 3 layers I am getting. My kids were all waiting oh so patiently right next to me, just off camera, oohing and ahhing over the cake and how beautiful it looked and how excited they were. We haven't made a cake like this in quite some time. The last cakes that we have done have been more, I guess like novelty would be the word. For my son's birthday, he had a TARDIS-shaped cake, which quite frankly turned out terrible. It looked more like a tall blue leaning tower of TARDIS, but that's okay. So the kids were super excited about this cake. I don't know when we had cake last. It's been a while since we had cake last. They were also really hoping to lick the bowl, lick the knife, lick the spoon, like anything that had any icing on it, they wanted it. And of course, I obliged. They all got a little something with some of the icing. So that's always really fun. Those are memories I have from when I was a kid. And it was so fun to be able to pass those experiences on to my own kids. I also doubled the amount of icing that I thought that I would need just to make sure that I had enough, and I definitely had enough. There was leftover icing. However, if I had just made like the single batch of icing, there definitely would not have been enough for a 3-layer cake to do in between the layers, on top and on the sides. And I always like to do on the sides. I know it's like the cool rustic thing now to have like a, kind of like your cake showing on the side and things like that. But I am an icing girl. I mean, let's be honest. Bad cake can be made good by good icing, and great cake can be made terrible by bad icing. So yeah, the icing definitely matters, and it's the most important part to me. If you are enjoying this video, and if you're still watching it at this point, you probably are, please go ahead and hit that like button. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot, and it helps me know what kinds of videos you enjoy seeing. Okay, I'm skipping ahead here in this icing decorating to the end because all I'm really doing is smoothing out the sides, and then I'm just wiping down with a paper towel along the bottom so that it just looks a little bit more polished on the plate, and then I am all done. And like I said, I moved it into my craft room so that it would be in a cooler room, and hopefully nobody will touch it until we eat it tonight. Okay, so I ended up using some of that leftover icing and some orange food coloring and a piping bag, and went to town just doing a little border there on the bottom and making some little carrot shapes on top. I didn't have any green icing, but I did have some parsley. So I pulled off little pieces of the parsley and stuck that in on top of the carrots to make them look like real carrots. So now I'm super happy with how the cake looks, and I cannot wait to serve it tonight. Okay, now that the day is kind of winding down, it's like 5:30 already, so yeah, definitely winding down. We need to like shower and get cleaned up soon. I haven't even set the table yet. But anyways, I wanted to tell you guys about the other cool thing that's happening this week, besides my birthday. I know. Okay, the week after Passover, it is a pretty widespread Jewish tradition to bake your challah in the shape of a key. Why do we do this? Okay, it is a segula for parnasa. So a segula is sort of like a good luck charm. Think of it like carrying around a 4-leaf clover because you want good luck. So a segula is something that's supposed to bring something into your life, like luck. In this case, when I said it was a segula for parnasa, parnasa is income. So yeah, it's something that pretty much everybody does. It's a really fun tradition. Because Passover ended Sunday night this week, we had all week long to do this, and I will show you mine. You can find some really amazing pictures of this. Oh, and it's called Schlissel challah, by the way. So if you Google that, you'll find some really amazing pictures that some people do some really awesome stuff with the Schlissel challah. Mine, not so fancy because my gluten-free challah doesn't braid the way that a regular gluten dough would. But here is mine. It's just a little, I just pulled some, I put some dough into a piping bag, and I made a key. Well, it was recognizable as a key, at least to my kids. I did my best. I Googled skeleton key because I like old things and I thought that was cool. Another way to do this tradition is to bake an actual key inside of your challah. So I could have done that, but that's just not really the way that we do it in my family. So I wanted it to be in the shape of a challah. So that's just something really cool that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, let's go set the table, do the last couple things we need to do to get ready for Shabbat. Okay, you guys, the last couple hours or hour, I guess, got like so super rushed while I was trying to finish up washing the dishes and cleaning the counters and setting the table and all kinds of craziness like that. But oh my goodness, let me show you guys the table. Ta-da! I totally love it. I'm so happy. I love that we can have, we're having guests over tonight, but I don't know if you can tell, there's like a lot more than just the 5 of us set at the table. We are set for 10 because we are having friends over tonight. I am so excited to have people over on this great big giant table that we all fit on. No more dragging an extra table from another room. We do still need to get chairs. Obviously, these are like chairs from my study and the kitchen, and then the other dining room chairs that we've had for a while that are literally falling apart. We've already had to throw one away. But anyways, I am just so excited to have people over. I love the new table setup. Oh, I am so ready for Shabbat. My kids have been a little bit extra today, so I don't know if you noticed, but this video was mostly voiceovers. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna go do the last minute things that I need to do, like checking light switches and things like that, then I'm gonna light my candles, have a beautiful Shabbat. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next upload.